Dear students and mathematics lovers, welcome to the YouTube channel Mathematics Students Helper. In the present video, we shall discuss an important topics under ring theory. This is called ideal. This is actually part 1. There are another parts also. Please see that videos which are available in my channel. Link of that videos are given in the description box. However, here I give the definition of ideal and basic ideas with some examples. I hope that you will understand the whole idea of ideals. Please see whole video without skipping. Anyway, if you understand the video, then after watching the video, please like it and share it with your friends. If the channel is still not subscribed, please subscribe it and say your friends to subscribe my channel to get more videos. Let's go in our discussion. At first, the definition of ideals. What is ideal? Suppose S be a subring of a ring R plus dot. I hope all of you have minimum idea about subring. Actually, what is a subring? Actually, a non-empty set S is said to be a subring of a ring R plus dot if S plus is commutative group and S dot is semi group and both of the distribution law holds in R. There are many videos in my channel regarding subring. Please see those videos to clear concept. However, here I give the definition of ideal. For that purpose, we consider a subring of a ring R plus dot. Then the subring S of the ring R is said to be a left ideal of R if A belongs to S, R belongs to R, or that means you have to take two elements, one from the subring and another from the ring. Okay. Then if R dot A belongs to S, then this is called a left ideal. Just I give in figure. Suppose this is the ring R, okay, and this is the set S, this is the subring, this is subring of the ring R dot, R plus dot. Here A is an element in the subring, that means A belongs to that portion, and R is an element in capital R, that means a ring. So here R may be in S or not, okay, it is an element in R. When R belongs to S, then R dot A or A dot R automatically belong to S, because we know that since S is a subring, S dot is a semi group. For that purpose, S is closed under multiplication. So if you take both of the elements A and R from S, then you must get that A dot R and R dot A in S. Okay. However, if R is outside of S, then what happens? In that case, we get the definition of ideal. Here we can see that here R dot A, here element of ring is left side of the element of subring. For that purpose, this is called left ideal. Okay. So you have to take two elements, one from the subring and another from the ring. It may be in S or not. Okay. So we have to calculate R dot A, that means here element of the ring R is left hand side of A. Since this is in left hand side of A, for that purpose, for that region, we can say that this is a left ideal. Similarly, if you take A dot R, you know that R dot A and A dot R are not always equal. It will be equal, R dot A and A dot R must be equal when R is a commutative ring, that is if R is commutative with respect to the multiplication, if the multiplication is commutative in R. Okay. However, if we calculate A dot R, that means you have to take R in the right hand side of A, and then if that elements, that means A dot R belongs to S, then the subring is called right ideal. So here the definition, it is called right ideal if A belongs to S and R belongs to S, R belongs to R implies that A dot R belongs to S. Please see carefully in the definition of right ideal element of the ring in the right hand side, and in the definition of left ideal element of the ring in left hand side. Okay. So what will be the definition of ideal? A subring is called ideal if it is both sided ideal, that means if it is left ideal as well as right ideal. So if you take two elements A from S and R from R, then A dot R and R dot A must be in S. Okay. So this is called both sided ideal. I hope that you understand the definition of ideal. If you have any query, then please comment in the comment box, or you can mail me. Mail ID is given in the description box. Okay, this is the definition of ideal. Now I give a theorem. The statement of the theorem is that a non-empty subset S of a ring R plus dot is an ideal if and only if first condition is S plus is a subgroup of the group R plus, and A belongs to us, S belongs to A R, implies that R dot A and A dot R belongs to S. Actually, what is the condition? Actually, here you see that for ideal you have to take a subring, but here S is simply non-empty subset. Okay, so at first S must be ideal, and then it have to satisfy that condition, then you can say that S is an ideal. Okay, so now I prove that theorem. In one hand side S is given ideal, so you have to prove that two conditions, and another side or conversely you have to take S as non-empty subset satisfying that two conditions. As a result you have to prove that S is an ideal. Okay, so now we will go in the proof. For that purpose, suppose S be an ideal of the ring, you have to prove that two conditions. Okay, so what is the definition of ideal? You know that S will be ideal. The first condition is that S must be a sub-ring of the ring R, and then there are two conditions. One condition for left ideal and another condition for right ideal. That is, you have to take two elements, one from S, suppose A from S and R from ring, then you have to check that either A dot R and B dot R belongs to R or not. If both of A dot R and R dot A belongs to S, then you can say that S is an ideal. Okay, so here S is an ideal, so both of the conditions are satisfied, and S plus dot must be a subring. Now here from the definition we get that S is a subring with the property that, whose property? R dot A and A dot R must be in S for all A belongs to S and for all R in capital R. Okay, so these are the conditions for ideal. Now we have to prove that two conditions. Please see that the second condition is automatically satisfied by that condition. Second condition is actually the condition for ideal. Okay, now we have to actually prove that S plus is a subgroup of the group R plus dot. Here, since S is a subring of R, S is a subring of R, so S plus is automatically a subgroup of R plus. Okay, so this is the first condition. So first condition is proved, and second condition is proved automatically from the definition of ideal. Hence, both of the conditions of 1 and 2 are satisfied automatically. Okay, so when S is an ideal, then both of the conditions 1 and 2 are satisfied automatically. Now we consider S be a non-empty subset such that S is satisfied. S satisfies both of the conditions 1 and 2. One condition, what was the one condition 1? Condition 1 was S plus is a subgroup of R plus, and condition second was A dot R implies that, A belongs to S, that is you have to take one element from subring and another element from ring, then you have to multiplication between A and R. Okay, if both R dot A and A dot R belongs to S, then this is the condition. Actually the second condition is for any two elements A in S and R in R, then both of R dot A and A dot R must belongs to S. This is the second condition. Okay. However, we have to prove that S is a ideal. Okay. So at first you have to prove that S is a subring. For that purpose, we consider two elements, A, B in S. Then A must belongs to R and B must belongs to S. Okay. So by the given condition 2, A dot B belongs to S. If you take A from B and B from X, then from the second condition you must get A dot B belongs to S, because this is the second condition. This is the second condition. Actually, this is the condition of left ideal, because here element of the ring is in left hand side. Okay. This is, which is this? This says that S is closed under multiplication. You know that what is the subring? There are two conditions. First condition is S plus must be a subgroup of R plus, and second condition is R is closed under multiplication. If that two conditions are satisfied, then R is automatically subring. I hope you know that. However, here this is satisfied. Thus, AB belongs to S implies that A dot B belongs to S. So, S is non-empty subset of R such that S plus is a subgroup of R plus. Why? Because condition 1 is satisfied. In the given condition 1, the condition was S plus is a subgroup of the group G R plus. Okay, this was the first condition. So, this is automatically satisfied. And second condition is that A B belongs to S implies that A dot B belongs to X. From that two relation, you can conclude that S is a subring of R. From that two condition, you can conclude that S is a subring of R plus dot. Okay. Now, we have to prove that S is an ideal. What is the definition of ideal? First condition is a subring, and second condition actually is that. This is already given. Okay. So, S is a subring of R, and S is a subring with the condition. What is the condition? Please wait, there is a problem. Okay, sorry. So, you get S is a subring. Now, S be a subring with the property that A belongs to S and R belongs to R implies that A dot R and R dot A both belongs to S. We get that condition from the second condition. From the given, there are two given conditions. From the second condition, we get that condition. So, combining that two command, first command is S is subring and this condition is satisfied in R, we can conclude that S is an ideal of R. Hence, S is an ideal of R. Okay. Now, we say whole the things at a glance. At first, we consider S as a subring of R plus dot. Then I give the definition of left ideal. The subring S of the ring R is said to be a left ideal if R dot A belongs to S, where R is an element in S, R, and A belongs to S. Okay, for right ideal, you have to take R in right hand side. This is the right ideal, and for simply ideal or both sided ideal, you have to satisfy both of the conditions. Okay, then I give the theorem. Theorem says that a non-empty set S of a ring R plus dot is an ideal if and only first condition is R S plus is a subgroup of R plus. Second condition is that A dot R and R dot A belongs to S for all A in S and for all R in R. Okay, now I give another theorem which is very useful to prove for a non-empty subset is either ideal or not. Okay, we can check a non-empty set of a ring R plus dot is either ideal or not. Now I give that theorem. The theorem says that a non-empty subset S of a ring R plus dot is an ideal if and only. Actually, I change the condition, first condition. First condition was S plus is a subgroup of the group R plus. You know that the necessary and sufficient condition for subgroup is that A composed B inverse belongs to A S. A composed B inverse belong to S for all AB in S. If this condition is satisfied, then you can conclude that S plus is a subgroup of the group R plus. A composed B inverse means here composition is addition. Composition is addition. So A composed means A plus. And what are there? A composed B inverse. Here B inverse means minus B. In additive notation, inverse of B is minus B. As a result, A composed B inverse means A plus minus B. A plus of minus B. That means A minus B. So now I replace condition 1 by that. A belongs to S and B belongs to S implies that A minus B belongs to S. Actually, this is the necessary and sufficient condition of that. S plus is a subgroup of R plus if and only if A belongs to S, B belongs to S imply that A minus B belongs to S. Okay, so I replace the condition by that and second condition remains unchanged. Okay, this theorem is very useful. I use that theorem, that means second theorem, in every problem to check the non-empty set is either ideal or not. Okay, now I give some examples. First example is that here we consider the ring Z plus dot and we consider Mz as a non-empty subset of Z. What is Mz? Mz is multiple of Z. Here M is obviously an integer, so the set Mz contains 0 plus minus M plus minus 2M plus minus 3M etc. Okay. Now we have to check Mz is ideal or not. The question is so that Mz is an ideal of the ring Z. So we have to satisfy two conditions. First condition, in first condition you have to take two elements from Mz, A and B, and then you have to calculate A minus B. Okay, you have to check either A minus B belongs to Mz or not. For ideal, A minus B must belong to Mz. And second condition is the condition for ideal, that means A dot R belongs to S and R dot A belongs to S for all A in S and for all R in capital R. Okay. Solution. Clearly Mz is a non-empty subset of Z. In first condition we consider two element AB in Mz. Now we calculate A minus B. However, since AB belong to S, so AB are both multiple of M. So we can take A as mk1 and B as mk2, where k1, k2 are two integers. Now if I calculate A minus B, so what will be? This will be mk1 minus mk2. That means if you take common m from that minus that means you get m into k1 minus k2. This is clearly multiple of m, Actually mz contains all multiple of m. So A minus B must be an element in Mz. So for any two element AB in Mz, we get A minus B is in Mz. This is the first condition for ideal. In second condition, you have to consider two element, one from the non-empty set, that means from Mz, and another from the ring Z. Now you have to calculate A dot R and R dot A. However, here since A belongs to Mz, then A must be multiple of M, that means A equal to mk1 for some k1 in Z. Now A dot R, here actually in ring R multiplication is commutative, that is Z plus dot is an commutative ring. So R dot A and A dot are equal. Now here A is mk1, so mk1 dot R. So this can be written as m into k dot r, k1 dot r. So clearly this is multiple of m because m into some integer. Since this is multiple of m, this must belong to mz. So we see that both of the conditions for ideal are satisfied. This was the first condition and this was the second condition. As a result, mz is an ideal of z. Okay. So the second theorem was very useful. Please remember that theorem to check a set is either ideal or not. Okay. However, now I give an example where subring is an left ideal or right ideal, but it is not an ideal. Note, a subring may be a left ideal or may be a right ideal, but it is not always an ideal. Okay. Actually, every ideal is always a subring, because for ideal at first it must be a subring, then it have to satisfy some another condition. Okay, so all ideals are subring, but all subring are not necessarily an ideal. Here I give some example which is actually partially ideal, that means which is left ideal but it is not right ideal, as a result it is not an ideal. Okay. Example, here I consider S as that A0 B0, that is A elements of S are 2 by 2 real matrices where the second column is 0 column, and T as that form, that is T is the collection of all 2 by 2 real matrix where the second row is 0. Both of ST are subring of M2R. I also calculate it. Here S is a left ideal of M2R, but it is not a right ideal. As a result, we can conclude that S is not an ideal of M2R. Now we clarify all of things. However, here I clarify for the set S, but here I don't calculate about the nature of T, that is T is either ideal or not. Please calculate yourself. Okay, after calculation you can see that T is a right ideal but it is not left ideal. Okay. However, in present video I calculate about the I discuss about the nature of S, that is it is ideal or not. At first you have to check S is either subring or not. Okay, at first I check S is a subring actually. For that purpose, here clearly S is not an empty subset of M2R. Now we'll to check S is a subring or not. For that purpose we consider two element in S. Clearly S alpha must be in that form, that is in that form, beta is also in that form. Okay, here the second columns are 0 column. What is the condition of subring? For condition of subring you have to calculate alpha minus beta and alpha dot beta. If both of alpha minus beta and alpha dot beta belong to S, then you can conclude that S is a subring of M2R. Actually M2R is the collection of all 2 by 2 real matrices. However, I calculate alpha minus b. Alpha minus b is actually just you have to subtract second matrix from first, that is you have to subtract that elements from the corresponding that elements. That means a1 minus a2, here that 0 minus 0 is equal to 0, b1 minus b2 is equal here 0 minus 0 is that. And here clearly this is in S because you see that elements of S is in that form, that is second components, second columns are identically 0 0. Okay, now if you calculate alpha dot beta, what will be the result? Actually first row, if you calculate first, multiply the first row with that first column, then you get a1 a2 plus 0 b2, that means a1 a2. If you calculate first row second column, that is you get 1 2 element in the 1 2 position, that means a1 0 plus 0 0, that means 0. So first element will be a1 a2, here element in the 1 2 position will be 0. If you calculate second row and first column, then you get b1 a2 plus 0, that means b1 a2, and in that position you have to multiply second row with second column. As a result you get b1 0 plus 0 plus 0 0, that means 0. Clearly this is also an element in S because here second components are 0 0, second column is 0 column. Okay, this is also in element in S. So here S is a subring. Therefore S is a subring of M2R. Now you have to calculate S is either left ideal or right ideal, etc. Now we check that. For that purpose you have to take two elements, one from S and another from ring, that means another from M2R. Okay, here we consider alpha as an element in A, so alpha is in that form, and gamma and an arbitrary element in the ring, that means in from M to R. This is a 2 by 2 order real matrices. Clearly x, y, z, t are all real numbers. Now we have to calculate gamma dot alpha. Actually here I take gamma in left hand side. If this is an element of S, then you can conclude that it is a left ideal, because here gamma is in left hand side. Okay, if you multiply you get that result, x a plus y b here x into 0 plus y into 0, as a result 0. This occur due to second and first column, that means z a plus t b. Okay, here this is 0. Clearly this is an element of S. Okay, so you here we consider the multiplication of gamma and alpha, where gamma is an arbitrary element of the ring M2R and alpha is an arbitrary element of S. Here gamma is left hand side. As a result we can conclude that S is a left ideal. S is a left ideal of M2R. But if you calculate alpha dot gamma, here we take gamma in right hand side. So this is alpha and this is gamma. If you multiply, this will be alpha ax plus 0, ax plus 0z, that means ax. Here will be ay plus t0, so ay. Here bx plus 0z, so bx. Here by 0t, as a result by. It is not always in the set S. In some time it is an element of S, because if you take y as 0, okay, then that two elements must be 0. If you take a and b both 0, then this will be 0 0. So this, in that case it will be an element of S. Because but in not all cases, that is when if you take all of a, b and y are non-zero, then that too must be non-zero. Or simply if you take y and a as non-zero, then this will be non-zero. So in that situations this is not an element of S. So which is not always in S, which is not always an element of S. So here S is not a right ideal. Okay, just I repeat the examples. Hence S is not an ideal of M2R. Now I give total discussion in one page. This was the note. A subring may be left ideal or right ideal, but it is not ideal. For example, we consider S and T. Here I discuss about S but not about T. Here both S and T are subrings of M2R. Here S is a left ideal of M2R but not ideal right ideal of M2R. As a result, S is not an ideal of M2R. Just you have to verify that. At first clearly S is non-empty subset of M2R. Now we will show that S is a subring. For that purpose we have to take two elements alpha and beta from S. Here alpha beta in that form, that is in second columns are there are 0 0. Now we have to calculate alpha minus beta and alpha dot beta. This is the alpha minus beta. Clearly this is an element of S, and this is alpha dot beta. This is also an element of S. As a result we can conclude that S is a subring of M2R. Okay, now for left ideal we have to consider two elements, alpha and gamma, alpha from S and gamma from M2R, that is from ring. Now you have to check gamma dot alpha. If gamma dot alpha is in S, then you can conclude that this is a left ideal, and then you have to check alpha dot gamma, that is you have to take gamma in right hand side. If alpha dot gamma is in S, then you can conclude that S is a right ideal, but you have to calculate both of them. So here this is gamma alpha, if you calculate this is in that form, clearly this is an element of S. So this is a left ideal, because here element of the ring is in left side of element of S, that is left hand side of alpha. So this is a left ideal. But for right ideal you have to calculate alpha dot gamma. This is in that form I calculate in previous slide, which is not always belongs to S. As a result, S is not a right ideal. As a result, we can conclude that S is not an ideal. But T is a right ideal, but it is not a left ideal of M2R. Please check yourself in your home. Okay, so here I get examples with which are one-sided ideal, that is left ideal or right ideal, but not both sided. Okay. Now I give another example. Here actually this note says that every ideal is always a subring, but subring is not necessarily an ideal. Actually in previous example this is correct, because in previous example you see that S and T are both subring, but these are not ideal. But there is a one thing, that S and T are one sided ideal. There was S is left ideal, but S is not right ideal, but T is right ideal, but T is not left ideal. But here I give an example where the subring is neither left ideal nor right ideal. Okay. For that purpose we consider the example. Here we consider the ring Q plus dot and Z plus dot as a subring. Here we consider Z plus dot is a subring of the ring Q plus dot. Here we will see that Z plus dot is neither left ideal nor right ideal. Okay, it is neither a left ideal nor a right ideal. As a result, it is not an ideal. Okay, now we have to verify that. For that purpose we have to consider two elements, one from ring and another from subring. Here A is from Z and R is from Q. Now we have to check A dot R and R dot A. Here A dot R not always belong to Z. Why? So you have to give example for particular value of A and R for which A dot R is not in Z. For that purpose we consider A as half, sorry, A as 3. A is an element actually from Z, so we consider A as an integer, we consider A as 3 and R as half. So if you calculate A dot half, that means 3 dot half, this will be 3 by 2. It is not an element of Z, that is, it is not an element of subring, so it is not a left ideal. Therefore Z plus dot is not a actually here we consider the element of the ring, that is half. This is actually in right hand side, right portion, so it is not an right ideal. Okay, when the element of ring is in left portion, then this will be left ideal. When element of the ring is in right portion, then this will be right ideal. So since here A dot R is not in Z, so we can conclude that Z plus dot is not a right ideal. Actually here Q plus dot is a commutative ring, so there are no difference between left ideal and right ideal. Actually here A dot R and R dot R, A dot R and R dot A both are equal. Okay, since Q plus dot is a commutative ring, then Z plus dot is not also a left ideal. Okay, as a result Q plus dot is not a ideal. Okay, I hope that you understand all the topics. If you have any query, please comment, or you can mail me, mail ID given in the description box. Of course you have to see another part also, then you get a clear concept about ideal, and some related videos are given in my channel. Please see that videos, link of that videos are given in the description box. Please see the description box. Anyway, thank you very much for watching whole the video.